Hey leaders, Tarun Stevenson here, and in this video I want to talk about finding your lane and sticking to it. Let's get into it. Okay, in this video we're going to talk about finding your lane and sticking to it. What do I mean by that? It means that you need to find out what you're good at, what tasks are essential to you and absolutely need you to focus on, and what tasks are not you and what you need to find other people to help you with to make you a more effective leader, make you a more productive leader, and to help you reach the full potential that you have in your leadership. Now, before we get into these tips, I want to encourage you to subscribe and to follow on our channel. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button or the follow button if you're on Facebook, and give us a like and a comment just to let us know how we're going. We'd love to hear from you. All right, so why is it important to find your lane? I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story about somebody that I've been coaching recently, and she's an amazing woman and she has so much potential in her leadership, but one of her traits, and I would say is a very positive trait, is that she is a very willing worker. She will get in and help anywhere you need, and she will work harder than anybody else I know. But one of the frustrations for her is she didn't feel like she was growing in her leadership. She didn't feel like she was growing in her opportunities. And so we recently had a conversation about, okay, well, what area do you want to focus on? What area do you think that you have a particular gift or skill? And initially her response was, hey, I'm willing to do anything. I'm willing to help anywhere. And, it's an admirable quality, and I appreciate the attitude. But one of the problems with that attitude in leadership is that until you learn to focus, until you learn how to hone in on what you're actually good at, you'll not actually grow as a leader. You need to be able to identify the skills and the giftings that you have as a leader and learn how to make that your strength as a leader. Don't try and be everything. The flip side of that is you get some leaders who are control freaks. They're not necessarily trying to do everything because they have a willing attitude or they're trying to help everybody. They just want to do everything because they think they're the only people in the world that know how to do it. Well, here's a news flash for you. You're not good at everything. And if you insist on doing everything for yourself, what you're doing is you're holding yourself back and you're holding your team back from growing. So, whichever extreme you sit in, whether you're just a willing person wanting to do everything to help people, or whether you want to do everything because you're a control freak and you think that you're the best at it, either way, you're holding yourself back and you're stopping yourself from leading most effectively. So how do you do this? Well, you've got to do some self-examination. You've got to figure out a little bit about yourself as a leader. And the first thing you need to start asking yourself is, what am I passionate about? What really lights me up? And very often we get stuck on the things we do. Sometimes the things we do are not really our passion. They are just an outworking of our passion. And we really need to be able to drill deep and understand if that passion actually aligns with who we are and who we are aspiring to be. Sometimes our passion is not necessarily our skill set. And this is a hard one to swallow. I know I've been through this. I know other people have been through this, where sometimes you can be really passionate about something you do, but it may turn out that that needs to be a hobby for you and not your actual strength in your leadership. Because the second question you need to ask after passion is, well, what am I really good at? Either it will come in the form of something that you have trained for, that you've put hours and hours of work into practice and to study for, or it will come in the form of something that other people tell you that you know you're good at. Something that you are comfortable with, that you do with ease, that everybody else goes to you because they know that you're the go-to person in that regard. So have a look at where your passion and your skill set interact. That's where you can really start to find your lane. I'll give you a little bit of an example. When I was a younger person in my teenage years and in my 20s, I was very passionate about playing music and writing music. I was a guitar player. My heroes were people like Slash and from Guns N' Roses and Eddie Van Halen and Jimi Hendrix. And I wanted to be a musician. That was what I was passionate about. I believe that's what I was meant to do. And I spent many of my 20s as a recording artist, as a touring artist and trying to get myself an opportunity in that regard. Well, one of the realities I came up against is that although I was pretty good, I mean, I wasn't terrible because I did have some moderate success, I certainly wasn't in the upper echelons of the people that I admired. You know, the level of work and the amount of work I put in to become a great guitarist was probably nowhere near what many of these other guys were doing. And so what I had to come up against was the mismatch between my skill level and my passion. And I found that my skill level was letting me down. My skill level was not hitting my passion, and I had a choice. I either had to put in some work to raise my skill level to a point where it matched my passion, or I had to find a way to outwork my passion in line with something that was actually a skill for me. And what I discovered during that time was that one of the things, the skills that I was pretty good at with my music was storytelling. As a songwriter, I had learned how to tell stories. As a performer, I was really good at engaging audiences and telling stories. And so I discovered that my ability to tell stories was a skill set that was really high, and other people noticed it, and it still aligned with my passion, because although it wasn't necessarily the music part of it, it was a creative thing. And so I actually went into public speaking, and now of course I do a lot of public speaking and the like. And so what I found was that there was a part of my skill set and my passion that did intersect, and that's where I put my focus. It was no point chasing something that I didn't have a match between my passion and my skill set. And so you need to do some deep work to ask yourself, are you chasing something that your skill doesn't align with? If your skill is not up there, you either need to do the work to raise your skill level, or you need to analyze your passion and say, is there some other way that I can do what I'm passionate about without necessarily having to focus on the things that I'm not skillful at? So there's this intersect between passion and skill. The other thing you need to ask yourself is, where are you getting the opportunities? Sometimes we get opportunities in areas that we don't expect, or maybe they don't align with what we originally wanted, but they may be perfect for our skill set. And that's the other part of what I had to go through, is I realized that I was getting a lot of opportunities to speak. I was getting very few opportunities to play music. And so because the opportunities were coming in an area that I could actually focus on, it gave me a chance to say, you know what, do I enjoy it? Can I get, do I feel passionately about this? Yes, I do. And so I had to let go of one part of my passion or one part of my skill set for the sake of the place where my opportunities were coming. You may find that you're getting opportunities in an area that's not exactly aligned with what direction you thought you were going to go, but that leads you to be able to become stronger in another area. I ended up becoming a school teacher. That school teaching led me to become a behavior specialist. The behavior specialist led me to become a leadership coach, and that has in turn led me to become a leader of organizations and also run my own business. So I started off as a musician. I started getting opportunities as a speaker and storyteller, transitioned into teaching others, and now I've lead my own business and my own organization. And so you see, sometimes the opportunities lead you to things that you can become even more passionate about, because they open up in areas that you're very skillful at, or you've got the ability to make a difference, make your mark. So you want to be pouring your energy into areas that you're going to leave a mark. You want to be pouring your energy into things that people will say, we got there because their contribution. Okay, if you're pouring all of your energies into things that can be done by anyone, you're not leaving your mark. And this is true of leadership. If you've got a team and you're doing everything, what's happening is you're not allowing your team to make their mark. You're not allowing your team to do the things that they're really good at. But you're also not giving yourself enough time to do the stuff that only you can do. And you've got to be really aware of that. Don't focus on everything. Focus on the place where you have the opportunity, and your skill and your passion, and they intersect. And the last thing is this: you need to focus on the areas where you can be most consistent. And this is really important, because as a leader, one of the things I see with young leaders, and this was true of me when I was a younger leader as well, that you want everything to happen now. But real growth and real leadership happens over a long period of time. And so you need to focus on something that you can keep coming back to over a long period of time and keep developing in. You see, great leadership, great success comes with the passage of time. And so if you are trying to do things that you can't be consistent in, you can't sustain commitment to it for a long period of time, well, stop doing it. Because if you can't do it consistently over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, then it's never going to become something that is really significant for you. It's never going to become something that you're really excellent at, and you're never going to be able to leave your mark. So focus on the things you can be consistent at, and then remove the things that you are not consistent at until you can be. You know, one of the things for me was with social media, with my business when I was first starting out. I couldn't post consistently. I found it very hard. So I just set myself a goal of doing 1 post a day. That was it. And until I got to the place where I could actually hire somebody to do my social media and, you know, put up 3 posts a day, I just did 1 post a day because I knew I could be consistent with that. And so you've got to stick to what you can do until you can take that next step. And then the next step with a lot of my content producing was, well, I can do 1 video a week. That's all I can manage. Now that 1 video a week, until I was able to get a production team, somebody who edits my videos and somebody who posts my videos and does all that for me, I could only manage that 1 video. And so now I've upped that. Now I'm producing multiple videos a week. I'm producing multiple blogs a week. But that's because I've got a team that help me. I've got people that edit my blogs. I've got people that post for me on social media. I've got people that edit my videos and get them up there and scheduled and stuff. And I can't do that without my team. But that's because I understand what I'm good at. I'm good at talking to a camera. I'm good at producing content. I need other people that are good at doing what they do to help me do everything else consistently. And if you're not at that level, if you can't be consistent, then just do the things you can be consistent in and start to bring other people into your team and build that team so you can go for the long haul. You're never going to leave your mark if you don't focus on the things that you're passionate about, skillful at, getting the opportunities in, and you can be consistent. So that's my 4 little tips in how you can become a more effective leader and grow in your leadership. I hope it was helpful. Make sure you give us a like or a comment, tell us what you thought, and share this with somebody that you think is going to find it beneficial. I'm Tarun Stevenson. See you next time.